touch my eyes.
Don't.
I don't want to touch my eyes.
Don't.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I'm Rene Ritchie, and I'm a tech analyst.
I'm Georgia Dow, and I'm a psychotherapist.
And this is Apple Talk.
Where psychology meets technology, and we see where they intersect.
And we talk about how all of these big tech companies, Amazon and Apple and Microsoft and Google and Facebook, so often Facebook now, affects our culture and our lives. Georgia, you're scaring me today.
Yeah. So we have plates. So
What do you mean we? But why do we have plates?
So you have no clue about this. I've planned this for, I think, 2 months.
2 months.
So.
I'm terrified.
Oh, you really should be. Because I'm wearing my Game of Thrones outfit. Look.
Yeah, but it might be season 8 and I might be fine.
Oh, no, it's going to be a train wreck either way.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't talk about season 8. Season 8 stopped after season 6, 5 for some. Okay, so I've been planning this and I thought, there's this. Yeah, so Rene goes like, I have a game to play today. What we're going to do? And I'm like, no, I have a game to play. And Rene,
I had the decency to tell you I had a game to play.
You had a game. I was not going to tell you until you said we have a game to play. And I'm like, no, we can't do it. My game is time sensitive. We have to do this game. So I bought...
Why is it time sensitive?
It's time sensitive because I cooked.
Oh my God.
I cooked.
This isn't a food show.
I know. There we go. Some food for you. Some food for me.
Is this like a
Some
cyberpunk
food
thing?
for you. Some food for me.
This is a lot of food.
It's a lot
Are we
of
giving some to the
food.
audience?
No. Stealing one. Okay. So the audience does not get one. So I don't know if you've seen the show, but you probably have, which is like Hot Takes.
Hot ones?
Yeah, Hot Ones. There we go. Hot Ones. Sorry.
Hot Ones, yes.
Hot Ones. Let's just edit that
Yes.
out. I said Hot Ones. I knew exactly.
Marquez has been on Hot Ones.
Ah, well, there we go. I have not. You have not.
No.
Yet. You might. So I bought it. It's not the Hot Ones one. This will.
It's an off-brand.
It's an off-brand. I know. Like, it's what I could order in the time that I had.
Is this safe for your human consumption?
No, it's not. We should take off the napkin because you're probably going to need it.
Why would you do this at the beginning of the show where it might wreck us for the entire show?
I know. That's going to be the fun part. Okay, so here we have it.
What do we have,
Here
though?
we have our 8 different hot sauces. I don't know if they're any good. I don't know. They were affordable, so probably not.
Oh, God.
Probably not. But I figure while we do our show and we go through our different topics, we will be trying out the different sauces at the same time.
Okay. All right. We're going to do this throughout the show?
What is your... Yeah.
Okay.
No. What do you mean? Do we going to do it throughout the show?
I didn't know if we were doing it at the beginning. I don't know if we're doing it as a bonus segment on Nebula. I didn't know what was happening.
No. We're going to do...
Okay.
We can discuss it on Nebula, but we are going to, through the show, increase. So let's start off with number 1,
Okay.
which is called orange chili.
Now, you got these at a dollar store, if I'm correct.
Something like that. Yeah, it's about...
Dollar store hot sauce. This is how... I didn't think I would go this way. I thought maybe Alien Invasion. I thought maybe Rise of the Machines.
Yeah.
I briefly considered Snowstorm because Montreal. I never
Can't
thought...
open it.
You can't open
I don't
it?
even know how it opens. Here, can you try to open it?
But I never thought dollar store hot sauce.
Dollar store hot sauce. That we need to clamp to open.
Oh,
Okay.
that's fine.
Okay, so you're just gonna put a dab and then put it on one of your little guys. See, I put
One
a
of my
good
ersatz
amount.
chicken wings.
Yeah. Pick one. You should use the little ones later, but okay. That'll be too late.
What an animal.
Okay,
Georgia.
so this is number 1. Put that back.
What is this called again?
This one is called orange chili.
All right, so we
Okay, so we eat and then
take
we
a shot
talk.
and then we do a question. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
No, this is not going to go well.
That's already pretty hot. Number 1.
Cheers, people.
Okay.
All right. Should I ask you the question first, or should
Sure.
you ask me?
Let's do this. I don't know if I should do the juice. It's gonna have all kinds of...
Yeah, I made a mistake when I was shopping, and instead of getting oranges, I got grapefruits. So not the sweetest. They're not the sweetest.
I love that you tell me that after. That was...
I didn't want to tell you before.
Oh, that's bitter, but I need to do something. Oh, grapefruit and chili is not okay. That's not all right.
You need the vitamin C, though. Otherwise, you might get scurvy. All right, so the first one wasn't as much a question, but it was something that happened on Twitter last night and this morning, and that is Sarah Dietschy, really, really good YouTuber, photography, technology, all those things. She made like a joke post about being frustrated with Google Stadia, the streaming video game service, and she just walked over to a trash can and threw the controller away. And so Hayden Hillier-Smith, who's Logan Paul's editor, said, I love Stadia. What are you doing? You can't throw that away. So, and then just because I'm a jerk, I said, oh, you mean the way that Google treated Montreal's studio that they set up with Jade Raymond to make all those games for them, because they just threw that whole studio away. So then after that, we got this huge tirade of people tech-splaining to us how Stadia was good and bad.
Really funny.
But Sarah got a ton of hate, just a ton of hate. And I always feel like women on Twitter get way more hate for the exact same thing that men do.
Yeah, often,
online in general. Like just so much more. Just so much more agree. Like another example that came up recently, Jacqueline Dallas started a new podcast, and the name was used by another show a while ago, and people just trashed on her. But, two other shows, and I don't want to shame them, so I'm not going to mention them, but two other shows with male hosts did exactly the same thing, and they even made fun of it, saying, oh, well, I guess, we'll invite you on our show. Sorry, maybe you weren't you. I mean, nobody said a word. Nobody said a word to them. They trashed Jacqueline for like 2 days. Nobody said a word about...
Yeah.
Anyway, so Sarah just said, if you know me, I would never intentionally set out to hurt people's feelings. I joke a ton on twitter.com and never mean to hurt anyone's feelings. The irony of all this is how much legitimate hate is now being slung towards me, and basically that she's moving and she'll be away for a while. Which I think is sad, because just because you post something on Twitter, no one is forced or compelled to answer you, especially not obnoxiously. That's a choice they're making.
Plus, this was about her throwing away a video game controller.
Yes.
It wasn't about kicking a puppy.
No.
It wasn't about even her political leanings. It's just we become so inclined towards something. And you could say it was wasteful, but, how much plastic do we throw away or use?
It was
Amazon
a joke. She clearly isn't throwing away the controller. She was saying that it was trash.
Even if she did, it's still not worthy of hate and vitriol.
Yeah.
Where she feels like she actually has to leave a service because of how much anger and hate.
Yeah. And, oh, okay. And I'm going to go on a bit of a tangent, and you can pull me in. But like we had two incidents this week where like Gina Carano was fired from Disney because she keeps saying really, I don't know what real jerk things on Twitter and on Instagram. And Joss Whedon got raked through the coals because, he was apparently incredibly abusive. It started off with the Justice League, and then it went to Buffy. And only the women of Buffy have spoken up, by the way. As far as I can tell, I think Anthony Stewart Head has finally said something. But immediately people are saying, oh, they're just canceling her because of her beliefs. And jerk beliefs do not belong to any ideology. Like, no ideology says we should be jerks. There are plenty of non-jerks in every ideology, but no one's like, oh, Joss Whedon is being canceled because he's like a left-leaning... no, their behavior was just bad.
Yeah, and I think that it's fair to be judged upon your behavior versus having different opinions.
Yes.
The way that you treat someone is completely different.
Yes, you should never be judged on what you are, only on how you act.
Yeah, again, to certain extents to
Yes.
that. Number 2.
Okay.
Garlic habanero.
Okay. I forgot this was a thing already.
Did you already forget?
So do you have any advice for people like Sarah who are starting to get afraid or just uncomfortable or annoyed about posting because
way too much.
Because they're inevitably going to get a bunch of people trying to just show up on their replies?
You want to know the verse that you're in. I don't think that anyone would have expected that she would get this much vitriol just from throwing away a controller in a post where, she's joking about how it's trashy.
Cheers.
Cheers. We're not going to,
I don't know, that was substantively different than the last one.
I think it was actually less hot. I can't say immensely tasty, but...
No.
Yeah, you
All right.
have that and I'll have the...
Where's Sean Evans when we need him?
I know. This would have been so much better.
At the end of the show, George is going to be cursing and trying not to give up Avengers spoilers, just like Scarlett Johansson.
Yes, giving a little bit of time, taking a little bit of space away is actually a great idea. People forget and they move on to the next thing that they're going to throw
The next
with
faux
pitchforks.
outrage.
Being really honest and apologetic, authenticity kind of works out. Know that people also, just like we get upset often about things that we're not really paying attention to, and so sometimes when the people are throwing this vitriol, it's just they're just jumping onto the next bandwagon because they want something to get upset about, and because now is during times of a pandemic, we do have a lot of residual stress, and so it can be thrown at anyone and anywhere. So take a little bit of time take a breather away, and it will all blow over and things will be all right.
Did we talk about Craig Mazin already?
No.
So Craig Mazin, he was the director of Chernobyl. He's working on The Last of Us now for HBO. And he quit Twitter recently, and he explained why on his podcast with John August, which is an amazing podcast. It's called Script Notes for people who are interested in script writing. But he said that Twitter made him feel like he had to have a loud vocal opinion about everything, no matter how little or how much he knew about it. He would see something on Twitter and feel compelled to voice his opinion on it, and he didn't like the way that made him feel.
Right. It's interesting when we talked about the tribe, and the loudest voice in the tribe is what kind of carries over, and that's what gets the most pull, that's what gets the most feedback, negative or positive, and that pushes views to be towards you. And so because of that, I guess he was feeling that pull to be at the tip of the wave. You don't have to be at the tip of the wave. Sometimes it's better just not to be. But if you want to get a lot of views, yes, some of the most controversial people are what get that. And so you can feel that pull to it. And let's just say you want to really monitor how you feel on social media. Yeah. It is made there to kind of keep us, yeah.
So, no, not yet. I'm asking you a question first.
Okay.
Oh, you're asking me a question first.
Am I?
Yes.
Okay. So Spamez says, I know what my argument will be next time someone asks me why they should share about privacy. Oh yeah, when they have nothing to hide. I'll say that in 10, 20 years, when the self-driving cars are the norm and your life value could be weighed against others based on your search history and Facebook comments. Oh, that's a really good one, Rene. What is your thought to that? I like that.
Well, that goes, it's that same Gina Carano thing we just talked about, and there was someone else, I forget who it was, another celebrity that came under fire, but the difference was that they were super apologetic about it. They said they regretted saying it. They didn't say, oh, you're blaming my whole ideology just because I'm acting like a jerk. They're like, no, I'm acting like a jerk. And I think Christina Warren was actually really good about this too. She's like, if you ever want a real job, like a grown-up job, they're going to look at your social media. Like, you should come in with a pile of stuff and drop it on a desk and saying, this is what I have posted. Or you should really think about what you're posting, or you should delete the stuff that you've posted, because you've created like a semi-permanent record of your hot takes. Not even your your research papers and your thesis, but your hot takes.
Yes. I'm talking about hot takes.
Oh. What is this?
This is number 3. It is jalapeno.
Okay.
It's green. But no, I think that that's absolutely right. Be careful what you put out there to be judged against. Just like they used to tell you, you are what you wear and what you do and how you react to people. Well, this is worse. This, you can go back 10 years and see, how you feel about A, B, and C. And you may not want people to know that. Like
if you're wearing that Speedos that are incredibly acceptable in Quebec, but you're in Florida and you've gotten sun drunk and you're just throwing basketballs around, and nobody needs to see that when you're applying for a YouTube job. Nothing. Nothing. No, I have all my tweets deleted after I think like a month or two. Not because
I used to have that.
Not because I'm upset like what people are going to see, but I got to a point where I dislike Twitter's policies so much that I don't want them to have my content for free. People can go to my website if they want to see like a record of my content, but I don't owe Twitter like in perpetuity everything that I write.
Yeah.
And I think also like now when we're seeing how vindictive Mark Zuckerberg, like when we're recording this morning, an article came out saying that he was intent on causing pain to Apple because he was upset by their privacy policies, which he says that they create money for Apple. They don't really help Apple. They just help us. And he's so angry he wants to cause pain to Apple.
I know. Cheers.
No, you just care about the wings.
Cheers.
Not even wings, you're chicken.
Oh, I feel that one.
Do you? Mm-hmm. That one's not as bad for me as the first one.
Really?
I keep thinking Firewalk says tabernacle. I don't know why. I just do. So what do you think, Georgia? Like when we grew up, there was no permanent record of us on YouTube,
Thank
Facebook,
God.
Twitter, or anything. But what do you think about people growing up now?
Oh, I just think back to all of the horrible things that I did. Like I did horrible, dumb, silly things.
Mostly to me.
That's true too. Yeah, I don't feel bad about any of those, interestingly enough. But I'm happy that there isn't, like, when you're not really fully cooked. So before the age of 24, your part of your brain that deals with consequences to actions has not yet been developed. And so here you are with something that could be stained upon you for the rest of your life when you've done it. Like, I think that there should be a policy in place that before the age of 24, everything that's on social media of yours should be kind of like you get a chance to say just delete all or not. and you can start fresh, just like a criminal record. Like I think that, childhood criminal record, they choose to do that. And so if you've committed a federal crime, that's deleted, yet your search history and your posting history is there forever. One will actually probably damage you more than the other.
Eric Schmidt famously, when they asked him what was his answer to privacy, he said that people should just change their name when they graduated.
Oh, that's such a pain though. Like that's such a, like how many people can actually afford, it seems like a very first world answer to, because who can afford to be able to go through all that paperwork?
Well, that's sort of like, that's to me is like victim blaming. Like Google has the resources, in the EU, they now have a right to be forgotten.
Yes.
Which is very counter to like American laws. Like the laws are very different between the EU and the US.
I feel that still on the tip of my tongue.
Okay.
That one I feel.
I didn't do it. I got another question for you, Georgia.
Okay.
This is from Mac. I don't know if I'm saying the names of the people. So Sarah Dishi was the first one. Spamez was the second one. Mac Bits now. How do we help the older generation who haven't grown up with computers? How do we help them embrace technology that's been playing an increasingly important part of their lives?
Right. I think that it's a big issue. Do we do another one?
Sure.
Okay. Let's do another one before I answer this. This one's called Red Hot.
Everyone's like, just answer the question. Don't wait for the translation.
Don't wait.
Answer the question.
I get time to think about
Rest
it while
in
I do
peace.
this. I know. This might be an editing nightmare, but I'm going to do it on a bigger one because then I can...
No, I meant Christopher Plummer. I can never think about that movie again. Take a bigger piece now.
Yeah, because then you can use the smaller pieces for when it's supposed to be hotter.
No, I want more chicken for the hotter sauces, not less chicken.
Do you? Is that the way it goes?
It disperses it more.
Okay.
It's sauce per square inch, Georgia.
Sauce per square inch. Okay.
Are you ready? Cheers.
Uh-huh.
What was this one again?
Oh. Red Hot.
Okay.
Oh, I feel that one.
Yeah. It's like a smoky sort of a feeling. I feel like Sean Evans should be here saying, Georgia, can you explain this Instagram from Las Vegas when you're wearing a Google Glass?
Yes, or while we were doing the bull riding and stuff.
Yeah. Was that Instagram? I don't know. I know that you with the iPhone-controlled sniper rifle was Instagrammed.
They didn't do the bull riding because they were like, Georgia, you probably don't want this. All over the internet.
You're right.
I don't know. It's probably out there anyways.
Yeah, you have a record.
Oh.
All right, do you have an answer for older people on the internet?
Yeah, I think that you want to be able to work through it with them in a really, like, it's about repetition and it's about doing things that are within your safety zone so that you feel comfortable, you rinse and repeat, and there's too many things. So just learning how to open things, how to close things, interacting with it and having them physically do it. Don't tell them how to do it, have them actually press the buttons. So we end up with the muscle memory. And they actually can feel through it. That works out really well. Simple how-to videos, but very, very simple also is helpful.
I went with simple devices. Like, we're lucky we live in a time and place where we have like iPads and Chromebooks. And if somebody doesn't need a full-on PC with all the management headaches that come with it, just having a device that's so much easier is so much easier. And that's part of why, I personally would like the iPhone to become more like a computer. Like, I'd like to be able to install apps through Gatekeeper, do all these things that all these really angry companies like Tim Epic and, what's his name? DHH, who does the Hey email client, all the people fighting to say, free the iPhone. But at the same time, I'm super cognizant that Steve Jobs' intent with iOS was to make a console so that more people could comfortably use computers. And we already have the Mac, we have the PC, we have Android, and I feel at some point, like, us 5%ers, us tech nerds are like, no, we want your console too. Like, we want to take and I worry about that with the iPad now because Steve Jobs fought for so long to keep the iPad simple, said no to so many features. Like, he said no to AirDrop twice. And now every year it's getting more and more complicated to use, and that's great for me, again, as a nerd, but I think it's worse for people who traditionally felt alienated by computers because now they're having to deal with the complexity we're forcing on their devices, even though we have all the other devices already.
Yes, and the easier it is, the simpler it is. So take things off of the computer, run them through how to use the things that will be easy for them, and make sure that you kind of are there the first few times that they do it because that tech anxiety is real.
Yeah.
Hot.
Are you suffering?
I'm a little bit suffering.
So you brought this on yourself, though.
I did. I don't even
It's
feel
like
bad.
everything you tell the kids.
Don't feel bad.
All right. You want to? Oh, do you want to do another one of these?
Yeah, let's do another one. Okay, so this one's number 5.
Habanero.
Habanero. Habanero?
Habanero. Habanero. I don't know. What does it say?
I don't know. Habanero. Okay, here we go. You want me to just do it on one of yours?
Why, you don't trust me?
No, I was just going to pour a lot on.
It's fine. There you go.
Okay.
I need a double dab just for you.
There
I'm
we go.
going to regret this.
You will probably regret it, which is a good thing. Oh, geez,
I feel like that first scene in the Rurouni Kenshin movie where he's like, or they're like, you must live for us.
Oro.
Oro!
I didn't find that hot. No, that one's nothing.
But
my mouth is on fire from the last one.
None of these are tasty. I want to point that out. None of these actually taste good.
None of them taste good. No. No.
No, this is not hot ones. This is hot things.
Well, I don't know if hot ones taste good too. I don't think anyone was really talking about how flavorful they were.
No, they've had some really good chefs on there who talk about like the flavor profiles. And,
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. I'm gonna take
And then Gordon Ramsay would just drop F-bombs every bite.
Right. Okay, so here we go. Rene, Joe asks, what is a good review and what is not a review?
So this actually depends a lot on what you want out of it. Like, some people have already read all the specs of a device, so they don't care about that. Other people don't know anything about it, and they want to know everything from the basics. So I always try to find a reviewer, whether it's technology or movies or TV shows, that in the past has had similar opinions to me. Like, if there's a movie critic who always chooses movies that I hate, the subjective nature of the reviews don't matter, like the style doesn't matter that much because I know I'm not going to like the same things. But if there's a movie reviewer who always says, this movie is great, and I'm like, yes, that movie was great. Or like a tech reviewer who's like, this is like, always picks the best printer, the best cables, and I'm super satisfied, I'm going to go back to them because we're all different. Some of us really want the technical stuff. Some of us really want the day in the life stuff. Some of us really want comparison stuff. Others really want to know, like, maybe you upgrade every year and that's important. Maybe you upgrade every 5 years, so that's not important. Find someone who's good for you.
Yes, find someone that matches the things that is the same thing as your flavor profile in whatever you're doing. And if you do that, then you will probably feel that it's a good review for what you are. There is definitely a huge difference, though, between going through someone that's going to go through many of the different list of things versus I'm like, okay, just tell me which one to buy and I will trust you for the rest of it.
Yeah, and also, like, in terms of bad review, I always try to remember that I'm not the only one who's going to be using this, and maybe your tastes are different than mine. So I try to provide, like, I never try to say, like, a lot of reviews say the good, the bad, but I find that highly presumptuous because what's good for me may not be good for you.
Right.
My preference is maybe, so I try to say what it does well, what it has well, or what you need, like what it doesn't have and what you need to get. Like if it's big, it is not good for people who want small phones. If it doesn't have 5G, it's not good for people who want 5G. If it doesn't let you side load apps, then it's not good. Like what does it do and what is it missing? And you know, those that I think are more important than the feels. The facts, not the feels.
The facts, not the feels. I like that.
Yes. You're just biding time for another
Yeah,
hot
I am.
sauce. Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're doing number 6. This is fire.
Fire?
I'm gonna shake it, 'cause
I don't think that's the
shaking-
name of a pepper. Are you hoping if you shake them, they'll taste better?
I'm hoping they'll be hotter.
You think all the heat settles to the bottom?
Maybe. Could be heavier. The heat could be heavier. I don't know.
What are you gonna do with the rest of all these sauces?
I don't know. If they're not tasty, I'll leave them
If
for
you
the
throw them
kids
out,
to
I'm gonna
try.
tell Sarah Dietschy's fan base to just jump all over you.
It wouldn't be her fan base that would be jumping on me. It
That's
would
right,
be the
it would be
other
the
people
trolls.
that would be jumping. You didn't wait, did you? You just went.
Oh no, sorry.
That one's tasty.
Meh. That was number 6 of 8?
That one's hot. No?
No, it's weird. Some of them are like smoky but not hot. Some are like sharp hot. Some are just like low hot.
This is a slow burn. This is a slow burn.
Totally is.
I'm feeling it.
Question for you, Georgia, from Greg Hudson. The big fly in the ointment to me, and he's talking about self-driving cars, our topic from last week, is how all of these different AIs driving around on the road are going to interact with each other. They will have different values and capabilities. Oh God, how is the Apple car going to work with the Facebook car?
They'll fight.
Or how secure will all of these self-driving vehicles be secured? I guess it means how secure they be. Will we have to worry about malware infecting vehicles? Like the Windows XP car have malware on the road.
We will actually have to. They've already gone through that, where people can shut down a car, change the access to it. So we're going to have to go through all kinds of that has a slow burn.
Yes.
I'm feeling it now.
It's coming back.
It's coming back to haunt you.
It's like a bad neighbor.
And so because of that, I think that we're going to have all kinds of different regulations in place because, you don't want to have, like, again, there would be different vulnerabilities to different cars that you have on the road. And that will be a big deal for it. So I think that interacting with each other's cars is one thing, but I think that the malware is a big deal that we're going to have. Hopefully, lots of regulations. Renee's your thought?
I have a question for you, maybe a controversial one.
Oh.
You are a right to repair advocate.
Yes.
Should you have the right to repair a self-driving car?
Yes.
Yes,
you should.
What if you end up causing an accident in the hive?
They'll know. Just like if you don't get your wheels checked, if you're not using the right tires, if your car is not running to spec, there's an increased chance that you could have an accident. Yeah, then you should be responsible for that, period.
There shouldn't be like a hive mechanic that maintains the entire fleet of cars?
No,
Like
I think that
like buses?
I think that you should have the option to that, but I think that you own the car, you should have a right to be able to check what's in it.
Will you own it though?
I think you should. I hope it's funny because I was just talking about that. Yes, I think that you could choose to lease a car or rent a car with other people that are renting it, but I think that yes, you should have a right to own your own car, and if you own a device, you should be able to look inside and see what is happening. I think that keeps people really honest. When we deal with those emission tests, and a whole bunch of other companies were caught with altering the emission with what came out of the exhaust. It was still coming out, it just wasn't coming out of the exhaust, and all kinds of different ways of around the emission tests. Like, it's only because people peeked around and took a look through it that they knew and let it out. And so I think that we need that. I think that that's important. And I think that we should have a right to be able to repair our own devices. I think that once the devices are no longer ours, that we're using it, we have to pay for it, yet the company that made them then has a right to it. I think that becomes really nefarious. Pardon?
Isn't that how a city bus works now, though?
But here the city owns the city buses. They own them.
Yes.
We don't own them. We're renting them. That's fine. I don't expect to own the bus that I'm just choosing to use. But my phone, I own my phone. I should be able to do whatever I want to my phone. Now, there's a secondary question of then, does it still get covered under warranty? Okay, fine, that's a different debate. But I should be able to do whatever I want to my phone. You shouldn't lock my phone down because I've done something. Should the consequences
be higher if you attempt to repair a vehicle that's part of a fleet and it causes a problem with the fleet?
Not if there's not a maliciousness. I don't believe so.
But what if it's an incompetence?
Well, that's just like, what if you're incompetent and you're driving it, or you didn't update, or like, again, I think that if it's... But
are the stakes higher when it's part of a collective and no longer part of a separate thing? Like when all these cars are using all this AI and all these connections to do high-speed lane changing and packet controlling on a highway level.
That's a really good question. I'm thinking about repairing the car, not changing the software that runs the car. More of a hardware issue, which I think the hardware...
You want it to put your Galaga simulator on it. You want it to play Galaga.
Right. I think that becomes a different issue, because if it's a hive mind and every single car is talking to the other car, if your car is not going to be part of the hive mind, and then no one knows where your car is, or they think that it's moving 2 seconds ahead.
Well, you couldn't drive. I don't know if you could independently drive a car on a highway that has a hive-controlled traffic system.
You should be able to.
Where the hive just go, oh my God, and just swerve around you all the time.
Again, it shouldn't just be the hive that it's understanding. It should also be understanding that there's another vehicle, or there's a cat, or there's a person.
But then you're destroying the perfection of the hive system.
Yeah, but what if we find out that the hive is actually tracking a whole bunch of things that the hive wouldn't?
Well, I'm sure the hive will be.
I think that that's all a piece of what information we need to have access to. So I think that it should be able to drive. You should still have the choice to drive independently. I'll say it. I probably will trust a hive-driven car more than I would drive a person-driven car.
You're going to say me. More than a car driven by me is what she's saying.
Or me.
Okay.
Or me. Us. We only drive. We get worse when we drive together.
Yes. Yeah. Anti-compass, anti-map.
Oh, it's just bad.
And so would you be worried about security and hacking and things like that?
I would.
Yeah.
I think that it's something that... still feeling it. I think that it's something that we'll need to be worried about. What about you, Rene?
I think it's one of those things that's a beautiful future dream that is always imminent but never quite arriving. We're always expecting it. It's never quite here, because the problem is always we get this close and we realize this is really hard. Then we get this close and the rest is really harder. And then we get this close. So I think it's actually a lot further away. Like you just hear some of them talking like, I don't know how well they've even addressed things like snow, to be honest with you.
Well, they don't address them. It's very well, right?
Yeah.
Even with GPS systems, and again, they'll probably have sensors that are in the roads that they can be able to track it. But self-driving cars don't drive well under snow. They don't drive that well under many different conditions that are out there when they can't see it. But I think that these are all there'll be solutions to be able to fix these problems over time.
Yeah, it's one of those long arc of history things, like within 100 years, I'm sure. 50 years, probably. 25, maybe. 10 years?
I think 25 for sure. I think 10 years, probably. I think 5 years, probably not.
Okay.
That's my thought.
All right, we'll place bets eventually.
We'll place bets. Okay.
What do you got next?
Okay, so we'll do 7.
Yep.
This one is called lava. Okay.
Lava like the thing Super Mario jumps over?
Yeah. Okay, I'm just going to pour this on.
Oh, you're really dousing it.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to douse yours too.
Okay.
You're not going to get to.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Still crap. Like it's not flavorful.
It's just hot.
They all taste slightly burned. Oh, I have a Jenna and Justine same brain cup today.
It goes with Rene. There we go. It's an adorable cup. I love the icon. Okay, go ahead, read the question. Hurry and read it.
I think it's your turn to read it, isn't it?
I don't think so. Is it?
Yeah, I asked you the first one.
Okay. Chad Aiden, do you think Facebook and other social networking sites someday may be seen as the same as smoking is now? Everyone used to do it, and we found out more about it, the bad side effects, then people started backing off.
This one's hard. Yes, I do. I think it's going to be looked at as big social tobacco, as like social cigarettes. Wow.
That's all I was gonna say. It stopped Rene from talking after one sentence. What is that?
Yeah, this one's unpleasant. Be right back.
Be right back. I don't want to touch my eyes.
Don't.
I don't want to touch my eyes.
Don't.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay. I think we answered it. Yes,
What do you think, Georgia?
I would hope that we become more aware of the effects of social media and what we consume in our brain, just like we are with what we consume inside of our body, and so we can avoid, dealing with things that are really malignant towards us and our effects. And in some ways, what we consume with our brains is even more important than what we consume inside of our bodies, like this.
Yeah, I think the algorithms will be designated as toxic, and they'll have to make better ones. Last one?
Yeah, please.
Well, we have
No, we'll do that for the next question, because we have
Okay.
another topic after this, don't we?
No.
Don't we have another topic?
No.
We're not doing another topic?
No. Hell no.
Okay. Okay. So then we're going to do one more. Whew. Okay. Eruption.
Oh, God. I'm not going to ask. Oh, no, you have your napkin. Okay.
Oh yeah, I have my napkin. Whew. Okay. I'm gonna do this so that you're not gonna suffer alone. Is that good? Is that enough?
I don't know. Don't put too much on. You have the show to finish.
Okay, now be careful where you touch it, because then after you're gonna
Forget and stick it in my eye.
Oh God, that'd be funny but horrible.
Still crap. I don't think it's as bad as the previous one.
Oh. No, I think that one comes up later. No?
I don't think it's as bad. I mean, it tastes like crap, but I don't think it's as bad.
And we'll just try lava just to see if it's better.
No, I
Worse.
tried lava already.
Yeah, let's try it again just
No,
to see if it's
I'm
worse.
good.
You sure?
Yeah. Doom scrolling and how to stop. Tech and social media flood our feeds with conspiracy and conflict. It doesn't matter how carefully we select our follows, it breaks through. I want to see I want to see the alternative points of view, but it can be consuming. Wow.
What's the question?
How do you stop doom scrolling?
I'm my answers must be horrible. It's funny because I was going to talk about like cognitive load and how so I'm in distress right now. So my cognitive load is used up with my brain going through, I'm in distress. So I just go to the base thoughts of it, like just stop, like just turn it off, stop. But that's not really the question that you're asking. Really, you want to go and give yourself a doom scrolling diet. Don't like be aware of how you feel when you're doing it, and then curb the amount of time that you're spending doing. One sec.
This is going to be great radio. People not watching but listening to this is going to be so good.
I feel so bad for people. I didn't even think about people watching. This is horrible. The best show, or this is the worst one. When you ask, is this going to be a horrible idea or a great idea?
Hashtag worst show or hashtag best show. Let us know in the comments.
Let us know. Oh. Okay, it's supposed to be really good to start off your endorphins because you've survived this, so it's great for pain management. Yeah. Back to the question. Doom scrolling, how do you stop? Rene, what's
I can't even think. I mean, like, he's right, though. You can't escape it. Today there was this huge thing about conspiracy theories in Silicon Valley about this enlightened society that is angry at reporters for daring to question them, as if these, like, sometimes misogynistic, often anti-Semitic, racist people in technology are angry that the press is looking into them, and the press is there's like just a whole bunch of people behaving badly, all targeting each other for wrath and vengeance, rather than acting like grown-ass adults doing their jobs. And if they start to feel like conspiracy theories, going to a therapist like the rest of us do.
Right. And know that what is it feeding upon? Why are you going back to it if it makes you feel bad? Being aware of that social media is trying to act on your base instincts and your trauma and your pain. And that's why you're going back to it, and that it's not good for your brain to be able to go through that. And it's hard because it becomes addicting. Once you start going into it, you want to continue and kind of go into the rabbit hole, and you think it's going to come out at the other end, but often it's just going right to the center.
Well, it's feeding you. It's putting you into a certain state. It's like, I found much less of this since the U.S. elections have ended, because back then it was just story after story, catastrophe after catastrophe, especially when we were dealing with COVID and insurrections and all these things. And now it's relatively quiet. Like, I know the U.S.
Do you know why that's the case?
Why?
Because when we feel scared and traumatized, there is a greater chance that that will activate us to want to go. We go into fight or flight, so that makes us want to do something. And especially when one party is trying to demonize the other, which is now, unfortunately, the way that politics goes on both sides.
Everything is politics, and all politics are demonization.
Yeah, well, they can, and you can politicize anything, but that one increases the chances that we're going to click on the next link. So social media wants to be able to do that to keep us in that, but also it makes us go limbic. We're not using the cognitive thinking part of our brain, so that's why this show, I don't know, I think my answers were probably pretty poor, because I'm in limbic. I'm not really using the base part of I'm using only the base part of my brain and not the cognitive part of my brain. But because of that, emotional arguments have a greater effect on us. We want to go to safety. We want to just cling to whatever higher power can pull us out of it. And we will give up our powers, we will give up our privacy, we will give up our rights, we will give up our money in order to go back to that feeling of, I'm now safe and taken care of.
I don't want justice, I want quiet.
Yes, daddy, take care of me.
Yes. Yeah,
could be mommy.
It was bad for me too, because I was just looking at it, like just constantly pulling down to see what the next story would be, hoping that the next story would say everything is better, it's all over, the world is quiet again, and it wasn't. It was just like horror after horror after horror.
And the thing is that you probably wouldn't have clicked on the ones that this is why it's better, because there's also a piece that we want to find all of the danger. So we go to the ones that are the most conspiracy, the worst case scenarios, because that part of our brain, if we look at the nth degree, the danger that's in the nth degree, then everything else is gravy.
Yeah.
Everything else is better than that.
And I forgot a lot. Like, I was rewatching Julie Nolke's Explaining the Pandemic to My Future Self, and she's going through like murder hornets and the fires that turned the sky colors, and I'm like, I forgot all of that happened. Like, we've just had such a year that...
Which, if I may say, is part of healing. us forgetting the traumas that we went through. And again, we won't go into trauma therapy because some traumas do not go away. And then you want to deal with it with a therapist or other ways that you want to deal with it, exercise, looking at cat paws, whatever.
But
whatever
I fear that
thing.
we'll repeat it because we have we're not getting time to stop, digest, and fix these things.
There is a greater chance that we'll repeat it. Yes, but also that is a part of our healing
who
process.
let in the murder hornets? We have not dealt with how did the murder hornets get here?
They actually can fly.
No, see, now we didn't fix that. We went on to the fires. We didn't fix the fires. We went on to it's just we didn't fix any of these things.
We end up getting flooded, right?
They're all still
here.
here.
So much information. There was so much trauma that we get flooded, overloaded, and we actually just shut down. We can't do any more, and we can end up in a state of learned helplessness.
Yes.
Where we just kind of sit in the fetal position and cry.
Cry, yes.
Metaphorically or not metaphorically.
Like I'm doing right now with all these hot sauces. All right, so Georgia.
Yeah.
We're going to continue on Nebula. We're going to talk about this experience as much as we possibly can.
Yep.
But for right now, you made it to a final dab, and I won't say too much because I don't want Sean Evans to sue me. But look into this camera, that camera, the imaginary cameras over there, and tell people where they can find you, what you got going on.
They can find me on YouTube. It's YouTube/Georgia Dow.
Oh, you did some great.
Did I do it well?
You did some great reaction videos. You did one to Sherlock
Yep.
and one to Vulcan and the Winter Soldier, and they were. I am jealous about how good you are on YouTube.
That is really sweet, and coming from you, that means a lot. Thank you so very much, Rene.
So good. I watched I watched them multiple times.
Thank you, Rene.
Yes, no,
It's
so
very
good.
sweet of you. So yeah, they're out there, so you can check it out. You can send me an email. It's georgia@westmounttherapy.com. And I'm also on Twitter @Georgia_Dow.
Brief
Still didn't
digression.
get that.
What do you feel like when you see therapy sessions in movies and TV?
It's weird because I'm busy when it's why I can't watch I'm then suddenly in the office doing exactly what I'll be doing in the reaction videos. Like I'm there going what, not what, or sometimes I'm like, that was a brilliant assessment, and I'm like, but it was like, would have I been able to make that assessment from the information that I had been given in session? And so sometimes I'm even jealous, but again, it's written, so I'm like, they're not actual therapy sessions, but you don't usually get to see other people's therapy sessions, so it's kind of really interesting to see the way that it is portrayed on TV and how it's gone about, so.
So when I watch technology on TV, it's like, no, you're holding the phone upside down. You're holding it upside down.
When they watch hacking, yeah.
On CBS, they made this big deal with Microsoft, and they switched from iPads to Surfaces. But then the cops would get out of the car. The suspects were running away. They'd have to assemble the Surface on the hood of the car. I'm like, the guy's down the street. Just use it in tablet mode. No one. I know Microsoft wants you to see it's convertible, but dude's getting away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's interesting when it's in your field, like you're then working.
Yes.
A part of you gets pulled out of the movie, and then you're like, wait, what did they do? Why would they do that? And then, right?
Well, we had a mutual friend who was a mechanic, and he ruined car chases for us. He's like, there's no way the car would be able to go over the jump like that and land and the spark there. That's not. And I'm like, just shut up. I'm enjoying this.
So you feel like when I'm in a movie because I'm constantly going.
Yeah, you have a mind palace. All right.
Rene, where can they find you?
You can find me at youtube.com/Rene Ritchie or twitter.com/Rene Ritchie. And I've been doing a lot of Clubhouse lately.
A little bit of Clubhouse?
Like until 3 in the morning. I am so tired. But like a lot of the people are in like these weird hours. Like I ended up, it's such FOMO. And somehow I ended up starting a room with Mr. Beast to talk about YouTube.
Awesome.
And then I ended up in another room last night with a bunch of YouTube people and a bunch of other, like not YouTube, but people who actually run YouTube who were explaining how it works. I'm
That's
like, I'm never going to sleep.
Never gonna go
and
to
it was
bed.
all so, like, everyone has these cockamamie theories for how
YouTube
all
works.
this works. And like the best answer was when someone says algorithm, just substitute it for audience. Because that's all we're trying to do is match your videos to the audience we think is going to enjoy them. So if you say like, how do I get on the algorithm? Just think like, how do I get a bigger audience? How do you make your videos appealing to more people?
Fair, but YouTube has a certain way to do that, and people are still trying to figure out how the soup is made.
Well, they had Mr. Beast's data scientist on, who was fascinating to listen to. He's from Sweden, and he was talking about like, people were giving him great concepts, and he's saying it's not big enough because like we have to have a thumbnail and a title and a video, all of them that'll reach like 40 million people. And that's, you can reach like, even like they can make a bad video that'll reach 1 million people, but how do you make a video that reaches 40, which is bigger than any TV show in the world?
Yep, it's amazing.
It's
absolutely amazing.
It's a lot. Anyway, so I'm doing Viper, who's really awesome.
Viper is amazing.
And El Jefe Jeff, who does a bunch of headphone reviews, and I are hosting a TechTuber Club on Clubhouse every Saturday night at 8 p.m. now.
Oh, wonderful. That's awesome. And I've done it. It was amazing.
Yes.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. So if you're a part of Chick Clubhouse or you bug someone to give you an invite, and if you liked this show, the way that we did it, let us know. If you hated it, let us know as well.
Absolutely.
We still might do it. I found it fun anyways. I liked watching. I enjoy watching someone else get tortured. Well, I don't know.
And if you're on the Apple app, just scroll down, leave a review, leave a rating. It helps people find the show. And if you don't have Nebula yet, if you're watching this really soon, they have a big deal going on, a big sale. I forget exactly how much is off, but there's a big percentage off. You can go to curiositystream.com/AppleTalk. You get Apple Talk and you get Nebula, and you get all of our videos without ads. A lot of them have bonus content. And my first Nebula original went up this week.
Ooh, congratulations,
You're in it.
Rene. Yay.
So is Marquez Brownlee, MKBHD, iJustine, Jacqueline Dallas, Brian Tong, John Gruber, a bunch of other people, all of us talking about
Christina.
Christina Warren, how the iPhone affected us from the original keynote to what we want to see Apple do next.
Awesome.
So check all of that out. And if you are watching us on Nebula, stay tuned because Georgia has a lot to answer for.